Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today's story is very special. My first flight. I had always dreamt of soaring through the sky like a bird, watching the world shrink beneath me. But dreams and reality are two different things, and I had no idea that my first flight would be an experience I would never forget. It all started when my uncle, who lived in Dubai, invited me to visit him. The moment I received the plane ticket, excitement and nervousness battled inside me. I had never been on a plane before. Would it be terrifying? Would my ears hurt? Would I be able to see the clouds up close? These questions swirled in my mind as I packed my bags. The day of my flight arrived and my family accompanied me to the airport. The terminal was buzzing with people, some eager, some exhausted, some in a hurry. The scent of coffee and freshly baked bread from nearby cafes filled the air. As I handed over my passport and ticket at the check-in counter, my heart pounded. With my boarding pass in hand, I walked through security, feeling like an explorer entering a new world. When I reached my gate, I saw the massive airplane waiting outside the glass window. It looked enormous, bigger than I had imagined. "How does this thing even fly?" I muttered under my breath. Boarding the aircraft was an entirely new experience. The moment I stepped inside, I was greeted by the scent of fresh leather seats and the friendly smiles of the flight attendants. I found my seat by the window. Perfect. I fastened my seatbelt, gripping the armrest tightly as the pilot announced takeoff. The plane began to taxi to the runway, its engines roaring like a sleeping giant awakening. My heart raced as it sped up, pushing me back into my seat. Within seconds, the wheels lifted off the ground, and the world below started shrinking. Buildings became tiny dots, roads turned into thin lines, and the lush green fields looked like patches of a painting. Then, something magical happened. The plane pierced through the clouds, and suddenly, I was surrounded by a sea of white cotton candy, glowing in the golden light of the setting sun. I pressed my forehead against the cold window, mesmerized. I was above the clouds. The sky stretched endlessly, painted in hues of orange and pink. For the first time in my life, I felt weightless, not just physically but emotionally. It was a strange feeling, a mix of freedom and awe. All my worries, my fears, my doubts, they all seemed so small from up here. A voice interrupted my thoughts. "First time flying?" The elderly man sitting beside me smiled knowingly. I nodded. "Yes, it feels unreal." He chuckled. "You never forget your first flight. The world looks different from above, doesn't it?" I smiled, still unable to take my eyes off the mesmerizing view. The flight continued smoothly, and soon the flight attendants served meals. Eating in the sky felt like something out of a movie. I took slow bites, savoring the moment. But just when I thought the experience couldn't get any better, the captain's voice echoed through the speakers. "Attention, passengers. If you look to your left, you'll see the Arabian Gulf sparkling under the moonlight." I turned my head, and there it was, a breathtaking view of Dubai glowing in the night, its skyscrapers shining like jewels. The sight of the Burj Khalifa standing tall among the shimmering lights made me realize how small we are in this vast world. As the plane began its descent, I felt a mix of emotions. I didn't want the journey to end, but I knew one thing for sure. This was just the beginning. My first flight had opened my eyes to the endless possibilities beyond my comfort zone. As the wheels touched the runway, I took a deep breath, feeling proud. I had conquered my fear, embraced a new adventure, and most importantly, I had seen the world from a perspective I never knew existed. That night, as I stepped off the plane and into the bustling Dubai airport, I realized something. Once you taste the sky, there's no going back.